Hello beautiful friends, I am happy to be here with you today to share another project for the Cut to You design team. Today I am working with the Crazy Love circle cut file, and as you can see I have done a little bit of work off camera. This was actually one of the February releases, and I went ahead and cut a whole heap of these files out and I have them stashed aside for quick and easy layouts. So that was one of the ones that I had cut from the February release. And off camera I backed it with some red cardstock behind most of it, and I did use some foam and also some gold glitter cardstock for one of the Crazy Love words or phrases, which then becomes my title. So I'm starting off now with some layering behind my photo. For this project I'm using a uniquely creative kit. I believe this one is called Go Your Own Way or Choose Your Own Adventure. Choose Your Own Adventure, I'm pretty sure it's called. It's fairly new. I think it was released in May, so it's quite a new kit. It's got some really nice bold colours. We've got some reds and some greens, but also some more neutral greys. So because this is a layout of me and my son, I am looking for more of those, not primary colours, but I suppose a little bit bolder, not going so much for the softer pastel colours. So one of the things that came in this kit, or one of the papers, there was a whole 12 by 12, or in the kit there were two 12 by 12 sheets that were cut apart labels and tags, and it was double-sided, so when you cut them out you got a two-sided design, if that makes sense. So when I received my kit, went and cut all of those out, and I have them stored in a little bag. And I'm going to use a couple of these tags here to embellish or to build a base for some embellishing around my photos. So I'm starting off here trimming them down because I initially thought that I would start to build some clusters around my photo before I placed it down on the page. And so that's what I'm doing here. I'm just playing around with how I'm going to place these behind my photo. I'm not sure what I was doing there. Oh, I had an idea of making a reinforcer, but because when I punched the hole out of the smaller tags, the hole punch that I used was a little bit too big, so that hole was a bit too bulky for my liking, but I come back and fix that up in just a moment. So as I said, I had the idea that I would first create, excuse me, sorry, I had to pause for a moment to sneeze. I had the idea that I would start to create the base for the embellishment clusters while I had my photo off the page. But then because I didn't want to overlap that gold foil Crazy Love, I realized that I'd be better off to get my photo in place, or roughly in place first, and then build the clusters from there so that I don't overlap. So one thing that I knew that I wanted to do was to add some mixed media to the background. This mark making stamp came in the kit, and I had a little bit of trouble, I think, well, first of all, because I was using a stamping block and my background is not, it's not solid because I have got some foam tape behind there. But also what I didn't realize until later, part of the reason why I was having so much trouble is this is a fairly new ink pad. It's one of the Distress Oxides from Tim Holtz, and it's one of the new releases. I think this is the speckled egg I was using, and it is extremely juicy. There is liquid sitting on top of the pad. So I've never had a Distress Oxide turn out like that, so I'm not entirely sure what to do about it. If you have any tips, if you've received anything like that before, I'd love for you to leave me a comment and let me know any hints or tips. It's definitely not been re-inked, it's a brand new pad. So whether I need to just sponge off some of that or just try and press it in, I'm not too sure. The other thing that came in the kit is this stencil. I love these little stencils that are coming in some of the uniquely creative kits. They're great for adding just small details. So I did mix up a little bit of paint with my Prima soft texture paste, or Prima light texture paste, and in the end, and most of that texture paste ends up covered up. As you can see, when I put the photo down, the top piece definitely got covered, and once I've put my embellishment clusters down, the part to the left of the photo is also going to get covered. So you only have that one little bit peeking out, but that's okay. It's just another little bit of detail that that adds a little bit more visual interest. So now I'm coming back in with these tags, and like I said, these are going to be used as the base for my embellishment clusters. But when I mentioned before that I had punched holes just a little bit too big in these tags, so to fix that I've grabbed some twine or some rickrack from my stash. It's just a cream coloured rickrack, and I have popped that through one of the holes, and through the other one I've used some grey and white baker's twine. And then as you can see on the other side there, on the left hand side, I have used some ribbon which has got a red and cream chevron print on it. That may have also come from a previous Uniquely Creative kit, now that I think about it. Okay, so we sped it up a little bit faster now because I am embellishing, and if you have watched any of my previous videos, you'll know that I'm not a super fast embellisher. I fuss around and play around with getting things in the right place. So this one I knew it was going to be one where I build lots of layers and tuck lots of things in and just build lots of interest on either side of my photo, because the design of this layer is quite simple, and I wanted to keep the outside pretty clean. So to really help draw the eye in and really add that visual interest and the texture to the layout, I am building up these clusters here on either side of my photo. This little bowl that I'm digging through here is a combination of the cutter parts that come in the Uniquely Creative kit, and there are some 12 by 12 papers that have cutter part elements. So on this one there were some beautiful oval shaped leaves, and then a page with lots and lots of feathers. So again, when I received the kit, I sat down in front of the TV over a couple of nights and did some fussy cutting. So now I have a bowl of embellishments that are ready to go, that coordinate perfectly with the kit, and that can tuck in around all of my little clusters and just add lots and lots of detail. I have also added some wood grain from my stash. A little while ago you would have seen me bringing in a little wood grain lady and a little boy, and I really wanted to make those work on this layout, but they were just a little bit too big, or the lady was a little bit too big, so I couldn't quite fit her in, so they don't make it on the layout. But as I'm building these clusters, I am trying to make sure that I am varying the placement of the feathers, because there's a few different shapes, and the colors, because there's a few different colors, and I'm trying to make sure that I've got a balance from the left to the right. And of course, to add a little bit more depth and texture, I am using just some small foam squares behind the outside of each of these little leaves as I tuck them in. So that's my second wood veneer piece. It was a little, a geotag with a love heart in the middle, and I just backed it with a little scrap of the red cardstock that I used to back the cut file. And I thought about using some enamel dots for the little scattering elements, but because I've got the gold glitter in that title and I don't have the gold glitter anywhere else, I wanted to bring that back into my embellishment clusters just to create a little bit more cohesiveness. So again, I grabbed a little scrap of that gold glitter paper, and I've just used one of the Fiskars hand punches in a heart shape, and I've punched out a bunch of those little hearts, and I'm just going to scatter those around to finish off my layout. So that is it. You'll find all the details linked below for the products that I used, as well as a link to the cut file and everything that you need for the Cut to Use store. Of course, I do have some close-up photos coming in just a minute, but I will leave it there and say thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a great day.